Good evening, everyone. I hope you've all had a wonderful holiday and a great start to the new year. Wishing everybody out there a happy new year. This year is hopefully going to be a good one for everyone that is thinking it will be. Unfortunately, if you're coming into the new year thinking it's going to be crap, you're probably going to have a crap year. Just being honest. But if anything, we're going to be doing things hopefully a lot more consistently as far as videos go. Once again, I do appreciate anybody out there watching. Let's go ahead and get into today's price action. We're going to break down today's price action from a technical standpoint, what occurred, look at all the destinations that we hit, and then we'll go and look at the larger time frames, kind of see what's occurring on the larger time frame. Actually, matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to start. That's how we're going to start doing things from here on out. We're just going to start looking at the larger time frames and breaking it down to the lowest, and then going into the technicals from there. So, monthly, we are still in a large monthly balance, all right? Nothing's changed on the monthly coming into the new year. We are still in a very choppy sideways action coming into the new year. Do we go test the balance low? Do we go test the monthly high? All those things are going to be determined by the intraday and then the daily and the weekly, what's going on in those areas. We got a couple news events that are going on. We have the FOMC minutes coming out. So things of that nature can affect the market, but we'll see what happens. Nothing uh, drastic should change from a policy standpoint. We all should know what to expect from a macro standpoint. And unless somebody drops a nuke somewhere, things should be relatively calm from a macroeconomic standpoint. We should all know what's going on at this point. All right, so monthly in a balance, just basically trading in this sideways channel. Your high is 43.2750, your low is 35.02. Weekly. Your weekly is trading inside of that monthly balance, right? We're trading inside that monthly balance. But let's just focus on what's occurring in the monthly balance. So back from earlier, a couple weeks ago, we had that outside week down. As you can see, I still have that stated here. Broke that multi-week balance low, which is now I'm calling a balance high, and you'll see here in just a second why. So we had that outside week down. Started the one-time frame down 2 weeks in a row. Last week was an inside week. We didn't do anything, and then this week we took out last week's high, putting us into an initial 3-week balance. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark this 3-week balance. Last week's high was 39.1875. Let's go ahead and mark that bad boy, 39.1875. We'll mark that. Balance high. All right, so there's our 3-week balance high, our balance low. We're going to use this low as well. The low of that week would be 37.8850. 37.8850. All right. So far this week, we've had an attempt at an inside week up. We've kind of failed a little bit, but initially we are in a 3-week balance. So the weekly has gone from down, one time frame and down. So we didn't take out last week's low. We took out last week's high, putting us into a balance. So our balance high is now 39.1875, and then the balance low is 37.8850 on the weekly. So you can expect the daily to begin to trade inside of this weekly range, right? Let's look at the daily. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. Now you can see the daily is in that weekly balance range, right? As I have here on chart. The daily is now in a balance as well. We had miraculously a failed attempt at an outside day down, meaning we opened with a gap above previous day's high, and then we came down, filled the gap, and then took out the previous day's low as well. And you'll see that on intraday. Interestingly enough, last week I do believe I was talking about the 50-day and the 20-day moving average that crossover that Paul in the Discord room, a mentor, great guy. If you guys want to go learn more about market profile, I highly recommend his room. And it's just a great room to be in. Great value. Definitely go check out his channel as well, Paul ASMR, Asmar, excuse me. I always say ASMR, mistake the name. But every time, we'll get back into it. Every time we've crossed over the 20 over the 50, guess what? We've set a new low in the year. Cross over the 20 on the 50, new low. 20 over the 50, new low. So on and so forth. So, interestingly enough, that seems to be occurring again. And that just so happens to be right at our 3-week balance high, which is also our daily balance high. So our daily balance high is the 3-week, or is our 3-week balance high and our 3-week balance low. So whichever way we come out of this, either to the upside or to the downside, we should have some good steam. Considering buyers fell today pretty heavily, as sellers did too, we could see just some more chop going into the FOMC minutes. That is something that could possibly happen, just chopping around. So trading the edges of the ranges seems to be the best of the best risk reward. Trading anywhere in between, you tend to get chopped up. So keep your stops out, keep your stops in decently wide. That way you have opportunity to trade the edges as I did today. And I'll review my trades here in a minute. But we are in a large daily balance. Outside day down, a failed attempt. As you can see, boom, boom, failed attempt. 20-day moving average is at 39.1250. So if we happen to get 39.1250, we'll get close to that balance high, which our 50-day moving average is also at 39.19, right at that balance high. Crazy how these things correspond and line up, right? If we do take out the daily high and the weekly high, guess what? The balance highs of those daily and the weekly get above the 50. We should go fill this gap up here on the daily. As you can see, I have the gap marked, which happens to be right at the 200-day moving average and our trend day or our trend line down. Crazy how these things are so mechanical and they line up when you're looking for them. It's absolutely impressive. So we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and get into the intraday and break down what occurred from a technical standpoint and go through how I mark my charts. So all these lines you see on my screen are destinations created by days prior, right? So we have the high days. You can kind of see up here the balance high. See that up there that I have marked. And then actually I think I'm gonna turn that a little bit of a different color since it is a little bit more significant. We're gonna turn that pretty good red right there. Indicate that that's our balance high. Then we're gonna turn this, make that dash to indicate that that's our balance low. So what occurred today? Well, let's look. We opened up here in A period right at 38.81. All right, we opened up at 38.81 above Friday's high, opened with a gap. As soon as we did, we attempted to push higher, got above that high day from the 29th. So we gapped above this 9Y point of control and the high day from Friday. So those two upside destinations kind of disappear. So, but we keep them marked just in case we backfill, right? And after we had pushed up initially, we attempted to go get that 9Y point of control. We missed it by about 3.5 points. 39.05 was where that 9Y point of control from the 21st was. And had we gotten that, then you would have gone and attempted a run at that 39.1875. But instead, we failed. We couldn't even get the overnight high, and I can show you that here on our multi-time frame setup real quick. Show you exactly where the overnight high was at. Wow, this isn't already that way. Or excuse me, we may have gotten the overnight high. No, we failed to get the overnight high. Overnight high was at 39.06. Our high was 39.0150. So we failed to get the overnight high up here. See right where I'm about to highlight. We failed to get that high. We didn't quite get there. Had we taken that out, then you would have gotten into that non-Y point of control up here at the top end. Sorry, screen's going wild. But yeah, you would have gotten this, and that's where the overnight high was. We just missed the overnight high and that non-Y point of control. We begin the backfill, come back down through the opening. We back test. So that daily high gone. See ya. We come down, we get that non-Y point of control. See ya. Gone. We continue to backfill as sellers or anybody that was long. We get a pretty good long liquidation, inventory adjustment, whatever you want to call it, in A period. Continue to pull back. We eventually fill the gap, get into that range from Friday, get right down to value high from Friday, as you can see where my cursor's lined up, right? Value high, we got right down to it and attempted to bounce the first time. So now we're back into Friday's range. Anybody that was long over the weekend, they're beginning to panic as we come into value. B period opens up. Try to get back above Friday's high. Can't necessarily do it. We battle there for a minute. And then sellers push this thing down. So after all that, we have a massive sell tail to the downside. Intraday, we try to push down lower. We failed attempts at single prints or intraday gaps in B period. We had a very small set in D period. They got filled later on. We had another very small set in E period that got filled in F later on, and so on and so forth. I was actually taking longs in D period. I'd taken a long actually in D period against value high at the time from, was it D period? No, it was C period. Time frame did I take it? Anyway, I can't remember if it was B, C, or D. I took a long, I think it was B period actually. I took a long against that value high to see if we would rotate back up and get into the get to the open. That did not work. As soon as we broke in, I got out right at 50. We continued to push down lower, and I felt like we had good odds of getting that 10Y point of control from Friday. So I decided to flip short. So I went to the short side, began selling instead of buying. I sold 49s, let this thing push down into 48 or down into 45. And then I took another contract off at 30. Yeah, took one off at 45, took another one off at 40, and then it pushed back up, took the last one off at 42, which negated the loss that I took when I was trying to get long in B period. Then I took a long in D period, thinking right before the turnover, thinking we weren't going to hold single prints. Wanted E to open up and rotate higher to get 5 wide at A's low, which was at 38.53. So my risk reward wasn't bad, but everything was in the seller's favor at the time. So it was kind of stubborn play. So I get stopped out of my long position there. I decided to get short after we taken out D's low. I decided to get short. I stayed short, a pretty hefty size. I was short 10 contracts at the MES. So I was short 10 micros on one account. I was short 5 micros on another account. And then as we rode down, I exited part of my one of my that 5 lot that I had on the one account. I exited right at 2150 once we broke that low of day. I stayed short uh, the entire time in G period. Stayed short. We pushed back up. I added another one, so I was then short an 11 lot of the MES. We pushed back down. I wanted to see us kind of go and get this low of day at 38.0450, but we really weren't getting much extension. So as we came back up, I decided to take off all the contracts. I'd actually taken off half around 38.18, and as we began to push back up in H period, I took all the rest of them off at 38.20, for which was a really good trade. Um, Made majority of my day. So overall, I ended up with a pretty solid 249.63 after commission. So not bad. Really good day on my end. Cannot complain. Really happy with that. That's a great way to start the new year. That's going to be the goal. Is just kind of do my best to make good trades, good decisions, take the profit when it's there. And then in I got long in K period on the pullback on one account. Didn't do much for me. I stayed long. L period. It wasn't a very large size. It was only a 2 lot of the MES. So had I gotten stopped out below F's high here, I would have gotten I think a $25 loss or something like that. It wouldn't have been a very big loss at all. I wasn't really sweating it. I was kind of expecting us to squeeze out a little bit more shorts, and as we pushed back up against K's high at 38.44, so I was long somewhere around 38.37, 38.36, 2 lot, and as we rotated back up towards K's high, I took it off at 38.44 even. So a really good trade to close out the day. So cannot complain about my trades. Really good trading on my part. The only thing I wish I would have done better was was not getting long. I should not have gotten long any point in time in the day except for later in the day like I did here in K or in L period. Crazy enough, we had one, two, had three. Was it just three? One, two, yeah, three. Three reversal bars. No, four reversal bars. Excuse me. J period was a reversal bar. So that just goes to show you how wild and wacky this market can still be going into the new year. That's any sets up anything for like the rest of the year. We should have tremendous and great volume throughout the rest of the year, which is a day trader's dream is to have volume, volatility, and things of that nature. So with all things being said, let's go ahead and mark the charts, mark our destinations, go over what we think can happen. Let's go ahead and mark our high a day up here at 39.0150. That will be our high a day, excuse me. Excuse my southern accent. 12. Ha! Is 103. I have to start including that now. And then we have our low of day. That's all we have. We don't have an afternoon rally high. We don't have a Y point of control. We just have today's high, today's low, and I might actually, nope, just today's high and low. 1450 is today's low. So these will be references that we look at tomorrow, going into the day to see what can occur. So if we open up in today's range and we push lower, take out today's low, we should go, if we take out today's low tomorrow, then we should go get this 38.0450 and then our balance low at 37.8850. I will not call the daily down until we take out this daily low. In my opinion, I just can't call the daily down until we take out that 37.8850, also the weekly low. If we open up tomorrow and push higher, then we should get the high of day, should get the 12 wide point of control, and we should break out of balance to the upside if we can get above 39.1875. If not, expect more chop, expect wide points of control, maybe range contracts it. Today was a very large range. What was ridiculous range on the day? Very large range. Would not be surprised to see us play inside of today's range, as it is a very large range. I mean, from 39.0150 to 38.14. I mean, very fat range. Crazy. So look to play inside this going into the Fed minutes. Use stops. Hope you all have a wonderful new year. Thanks for watching the videos. Look forward to showing more to you guys and doing more. Please leave a like and subscribe if you are new. Do appreciate it. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.